Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and I thought today I was asked a question on what would I recommend to a new shop, somebody just starting out when it comes to inventory. And how do we price our parts when we bill our customers for it? And they're two good questions. If you watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I tell you, be careful of getting in debt in parts. Honestly. A lot of shops go under because they end up putting a lot of money out on parts that they think they can sell. Or when they're pre-season orders, or they're floor planning, and they may sell a quarter of the parts that are in that floor plan, but the rest of it may sit on the shelves for years, and you gotta have to pay for that. So what I would recommend to someone just getting started, would be, carry your basic spark plugs for your riders. There's the two big ones are RC12YC and the RJ19LMs. Those will cover about 95% of your lawnmowers that come in. Now, if you're first starting out, buy a couple 4-packs. That way you're not heavily, if you have 8 of each, most of your lawnmowers coming in now are twins. So you're going to need 2 plugs for those mowers. So if you have 8 of them there, when the first box goes, reorder another box. And as you start to build customers, then you can start stepping up like we do, and we get them by the case because we go through so many of them. Another thing I would recommend if you're first starting out is just to get, your 1/4-inch fuel line is going to be your most common fuel line for the lawnmowers. There's a couple different variations for your weed eaters and stuff like that. And you can go online and buy them in 2-foot sections if that's all you're going to need. Because I know some people that only need a couple feet at the most to fix something. And it would last them the whole season. Whereas with us, we go through 50-foot rolls quite a bit. The other thing I would stock is oil filters. And when I say stocking oil filters, you don't need to go out and buy them by the case of 48 like we do. If you've only got 5 lawnmowers coming in, for the first couple weeks. But what you can do is you can step out and you can get, they have the 2 different style filters that fit the Briggs, and the one style fits the Kohler, and then the one style fits the John Deere, Kawasaki's, and Hondas. So you're looking at 3 different filters. Now, you can get a couple of each and just have them on the shelf and then replace them as you go. Or you can, do it as you're doing it too. That customers, when they drop their machine off, I can tell you right now, they want it back as soon as possible. Right? So if you stock certain stuff that you're going to need, where you're not waiting on it, you get paid faster. Customers happier, you're happier, your bank account's happier. Same goes for air filters. You're going to have your Kohler air filters that can either be the old style round or the new style that, fits on the simplicities. But I can make a whole video on parts that we use a lot. And then I can also show you later in this video of the inventory we have now. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of it's slow moving, And we needed one for this John Deere mower deck, a belt. I would buy 2, so I'd have a spare on hand. And that's how we built our inventory. What I can tell you when you look at our inventory is that it's all paid for. See, that's the big key. If you're going to sit on it, don't pay interest on it. That. And then one of the other things that you have to be careful of too, and it's not a problem for us, is that a lot of these wholesalers have a cutoff, of where they'll give you free freight and they'll give you a free, they won't charge you a service charge for it being a small order. Now, we deal with Rotary Primary. Rotary is a company as far as our primary, wholesaler now. In that case, theirs is $150 cutoff. And I would recommend that you do the $150 in spark plugs, oil filters, air filters that are common, and maybe some rope and some fuel line. Another company, Gardner Canal, they sell the home light, the hydro gear, but theirs is a $200 cutoff, to where they offer free freight. And then the other ones, it doesn't matter how big your order is, they don't give it to you for free. They're going to charge you a straight shot, and I think it's around $16-18. And I try to find the free freight, to be honest with you, because I look at the prices. If it's more expensive with free freight, or is inexpensive and it's going to cost me $15-16 and it comes out still cheaper in the end, then that's where we go. All right, so now you have some inventory, so you can start working on people's equipment. What are you charging for the parts? Has been one of the questions. So let's break it down. All right, so let's break it down. Like, I'm looking at a paper air filter for a Briggs & Stratton, and our price is $12.82. That's what a wholesaler charges us. List price is $24.99. Now, what I can tell you is that a lot of the shops will charge $24.99. Yeah. So it's almost double of what you're paying. So how do we, price our parts for our customers? We try to be in the middle, and it depends a lot too. A couple of things are you paying shipping on it? Because if you're paying shipping on it, now you got to divide that into that group of parts that you got. Don't give the stuff away, but also it's up to you as a shop owner, but we don't charge full price, list price. If we keep it, under, let's say with this one here, 12, might as well call it $13 and $25. So looking at that, I would probably charge right around $18, $19, because that order came free freight. So you're making a little bit on the parts, but you're not. I always figured that as a shop owner, you can make money on the parts, markup, not a big markup, just a markup. And then they're also paying you for the labor to work on their stuff. So you're bringing income from both sales of parts and the work. Now, if you're not doing repair work and you're just stocking parts, then you're going to have to jack that price up closer to list price, because now you don't have any side hustle of where the labor comes in that helps you out in the shop. Because once you get to any kind of being a shop, now you got all these things that most people don't even realize. Insurances, employees, payroll taxes. The list goes on. Taxes for the property. You're taxed to death. But that's how we price our parts. And the way I look at it is, if that customer leaves and that customer is happy, because most customers have already shopped around, I tell you right now, and check prices on parts. Alright, so hopefully this video doesn't get you squirrely, because I mean it's all over the place. But I'll show you a little bit about what we stock. Alright, let's get into the video. So I thought today we'd do kind of take a look at the shop and what we stock and everything. And I'll start off with the spark plugs. You want to buy them in bulk if you're doing any kind of business. And there's no sense keeping your old spark plugs. Toss them. It's cheap service. It's part of the service. And this is how we get them. We get them in these style packs, or we can get them in the individual boxes. We get them by the case because we go through so many of them. And I'll just kind of show you, this is just part of what we do. See, all of this stuff over here is all chainsaw sprockets, chains, chainsaw parts. In these, we have a grinder for doing chainsaw chains. We carry a lot of stuff for the snow blowers. Like I say, excuse the mess, but we're trying to get things cleaned up. There's one of the best things you could ever invest in, and that's a jump pack. And the 660s work the best for us. We've got 3 of them. Okay, let me take a walk this way. Here we keep all of our tire tubes. This is Tecumseh parts. These are all rewinds, tire chains, mufflers, chainsaw covers, more tubes, kits for lawnmowers. We carry a lot of carb choke cleaner by Stable. PV Blaster is another one. This is some of the OEM MTD parts, snow blowers. Trimmer trap stuff. We're a trimmer trap representative. Oh, and you got the snow blower wings and scraper bars. In here, we carry all filters for all different size tractors. We also carry out here spindles to fit most makes and models. Again, when you first start out, you're not going to be having all this stuff. It takes time. We've been in it since 2006, and we've grown. These are all connecting rods, gasket kits. This whole shelf here is just fuel tanks for your weed eaters and pressure washers. There's more up here. These are all gasket kits. Hopefully I'm not making you guys seasick. This here is all for your trimmers. Then you got wheels for your decks. All out here. You got more filters back here. Again, these are farm tractor filters that are out here. And we got water pumps. Now let's go in here, turn the light on. We carry all of our oil filters out here and air filters that go to lawn and garden. We carry coils. Now these here are the common Briggs filters, and this is how we get them, is by the case. This is a case of them. Down here you got the Kohler, which is the oversized one. Here you got the Honda Kawasaki's. You got OEM Kohler parts. These are all oil and air filters. Over here we've got cables. We've also got ton of cables out back for lawn and garden. Try to keep some of the Briggs stuff separate, but these are all pulleys, as you can see. These are all bushings, more pulleys. All these pull boxes are all Briggs and Stratton. Also on the bottom shelf, we carry PTO clutches. We keep the John Deeres because they're hard to come by. But as you can see, we carry a lot of stuff. And then down here, you've got all these parts. Up here, we carry all the different carburetors, OEM and aftermarket ones. We've also got a starter here, used, that we keep. Fuel line. You can never have enough fuel line. Here we've got all head gaskets, and we also keep our rope that we use here in the shop. These are the most common fuel filters that we use, and they'll work on any of the riders. These here are all primer bulbs, you name it. Miscellaneous this, miscellaneous that. Go out this way. I mean, again, you can see all the parts. This is all home link. OEM carburetors, filters, coils. You see all the different rope. This is our lawnmower selection for mower blades that we keep in stock. All of our fuel line, mufflers, pressure washer parts, and then the wall of belts. Okay, and then out this way we have even more parts. This is mostly tractor, but I figured I'd show you. You see, this is how we get our plugs, spark plugs bulk. These bins have all got parts. These are all decals for tractors, coils, fuel solenoids, carburetor kits, again decal sets. That's just all light bulbs that are in that. We've got more belts in here, right across. That's all Briggs and Murray OEMs. These are all full. And then we'll step out into our shop area. And we also carry, these are all belts as well for lawnmowers. You can never have enough belts. But again, you guys starting out, you're not going to have all this. It's taken us a while to put together what we have. You know, this is what it can become, you know, if you know, I recommend that you don't, like I was saying, I don't recommend when you're first starting out to get a lot of money in inventory, because you don't know what you're really going to need. And you could end up with a lot of money in parts that are no longer wanted. So when you're doing the order, I mean, like your spark plugs, your fuel line, pull cord rope, fuel filters, oil filters, couple common air filters, you know. Other than that, if you're first starting out, you know, keep it so that you're not in the hole. And the other thing is, a lot of people say, well, what do you use for oil in your lawnmowers when we do a service? We use straight up 10W30 in all of them. So I hope this has kind of helped some of you guys out there that are just getting started and wanting to know what to carry for inventory and how to charge for it and stuff. The key that I try to push to all of you is stay as debt-free as possible. You know, that's the biggie. yeah, it's nice to have a pretty shop with hundreds of thousands of dollars in parts and everything else, but then you got to pay for it. The key to running a small engine repair business is the customer pays for it. And if that means stocking one at a time to get you started, do one at a time. But on that note, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.